Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Reviews from the Clubhouse. As always, brought to you by Clubhouse Films. We are your hosts, Chance McDuffie and
Luke Skywalker.
It's an honor to have you here, Mr. Skywalker. You're a legend.
Thank you. My father, Darth Vader, can't be here today because, like, in the movie, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, but he's not.
Is he?
Yeah. Did you not know that?
Spoiler alert.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know that. That was our little opening bit. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of improv.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
Every day before we start recording, Logan's like, who am I today?
Yeah. Who am I going to be?
So, who are you again? Oh, you were Luke Skywalker.
I was Luke Skywalker. The Force is strong with me.
The man, the myth, the legend. How pretentious of you to say that. The Force is strong with me.
Well, I mean,
I feel like someone else should tell you that.
Why? Because that's his signature saying?
No,
or because
but
it's
I mean,
me?
like, who the fuck are you? Ooh, the Force is strong with me. Sure.
Well,
That's why you got your hand chopped off.
I'm full of myself.
That's why you got your hand chopped off, and why you went to an island for how many ever years and just became a hermit because you fucked up.
You know, I've never seen those movies.
Anyway, it's a glorious Wednesday afternoon, the 27th.
Yep.
You know, it's nice. Weather's starting to heat up. It's starting to actually feel like summer. Businesses are slowly starting to open.
Yes.
Have you like been anywhere, like out to eat or anything like that?
Not out to eat. I mean, the only place I've really been to was like to get my hair cut. It took me 3 hours though.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I like got there as soon as they opened. They checked me in, and then 3 hours later,
Was there
it was
someone?
time.
Like, were there a whole bunch of people ahead of you?
No. I don't know what happened. I think
fuck?
they were like, we kept trying to call you. You know, like, are you here for your appointment? I'm like, yeah, I've been sitting right here. I'm sitting right across from you. I'm like, I've been on my phone the whole time. It hasn't rang at all. They're like, oh, all right, well, you'll be next. So 15 minutes after the 3 hours. So 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Did you
And then
tip
I got
your
my
barber?
haircut. Yeah.
I wouldn't have gave him shit.
I mean, it's not their fault. It was the person who was checking me in fault. Who wasn't my barber.
I mean, I don't know. I go to a black people barber, so I don't know how that works.
Me neither.
All right, so, yeah, guys.
It's really good that we're like comfortable with each other. And that could have gotten really awkward really fast.
It's probably awkward for some people listening.
I'm sure it is.
Like, oh my God, did he just say he was a black guy?
I didn't know that. Unsubscribe.
In this economy?
Unsubscribe. Not listening.
Speaking of subscribing, hit the like button, subscribe, share. Check us out on social media.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Reviews from the Clubhouse. You can shoot us an email at reviewsfromtheclubhouse at gmail.com.
Can't even get our own name right.
Hey man, I was just staring at the wall as I was saying all that, and I was like, I'm on a roll.
I should get a teleprompter for you to just read it off.
Yeah, those cost money. That's
true.
Well, we'll be able to afford it if people subscribe, like, and share. So.
And check out our Patreon too, if Chance didn't mention that, which is now up and running.
Yeah, we got some new content coming.
That we're filming today.
Yes.
Today, this very day. And by next
But
week.
for you,
yeah.
it would have been the past.
The past.
But for us, it's the present.
It's the present, which is now.
And eventually it will be the future.
That's right.
But hey, time is a construct.
Yeah, it's just an illusion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Gross.
So, got a little bit of news? Are you want to roll into that, or you want to just, keep saying whatever? Do we have an intro song for the news segment?
No.
I feel like I ask you this every week.
You did. Not last week, but the week before. But no, we don't have one. I have music for it, but I just never put it in. Because, we kind of just segue right into it. And I can't really
laugh
find
tracks?
No, but we can.
Oh.
It's like no one laughs at all at us, but we just put our own laugh tracks in.
Oh
just
my
over
God.
stuff that isn't even funny. Like, yeah, he was shot dead.
Killed him in the street. Anyway, I got some news, guys.
I'm going to start doing
first
that.
I shortened the news. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes.
Not that I don't love the news. I do love the news.
Who loves the news?
But it's just our tangents that, just us rambling that makes
we
it
just
long.
get way sidetracked and start talking about completely different movies.
Yep.
And
Which I love.
filmmakers and
That's
whatever.
right. I could talk about this shit all day.
Hey,
In fact, I do.
we should have a podcast.
Nah,
Anyway.
that sounds stupid.
First bit of news is the Snyder Cut is reportedly coming to HBO Max in 2021. So, actually, fun fact, HBO Max dropped today.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting it because it's, no?
Well, I mean, Why? What's on there that you can't watch?
HBO. I mean,
Don't you?
it's HBO. It's gold standard television.
You own all the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, Friends is on there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love me some
I
Friends.
haven't finished Girls yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. I haven't finished that either.
I want to start watching Deadwood.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Western. It's got
Ooh. Is it like an actual Western or like a
it's got
neo
Ian
Western?
McShane. It's got Timothy Olyphant. And I don't know who else. He's got like a sweet mustache.
That's the second time he's done kind of maybe the third that he's done kind of like a Western. Because if you count Justified, it's like a modern day Western.
That's my
I know, that's your
one of
favorite
my
show.
shows. I was watching that when you got here too.
I know. The sex scene.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Him and
Not awkward at all.
whatever the lady's name is. So, Warner Brothers is supposed to spend $30 million to finish this film. So, like,
That's crazy.
This has been
Double
trending
that.
for a while now. People are like, release the Snyder Cut. So, like, the whole thing with that. So, Zack Snyder, he did Man of Steel, he did Batman vs Superman, and then he was initially signed on as the director for Justice League. So, Batman vs Superman came out, and it underperformed critically and financially. And I guess Warner Brothers wanted to part ways with Zack Snyder after that. But Justice League had all because the movie just wasn't
doing
well
that good.
received. And they basically didn't have faith in him anymore to finish Justice League. But the movie it was well into production. So they just kind of said, screw it. And then some family stuff came up with Zack Snyder, which ultimately
What a
led to him.
shame.
Yeah, that was the public story. So he had a family tragedy, and he had to drop out, and that was the public story. But behind closed doors, executives were just not pleased with Batman vs Superman, and they didn't have faith in his ability to finish Justice League. So they kind of split ways, and then they brought Joss Whedon in, writer and director of the first Avengers and the second Avengers. And he came in and kind of, I don't know. Have you seen Justice League?
Yeah.
It's a hot mess.
I don't remember it. I just remember like the ending. It just looks bad.
Yeah,
it just looks bad. Like visually, the CG is not that amazing. If it was for like a $200 million movie, you'd think it would be great. I mean, even for smaller budget movies, their CG is.
It's insane to me that we live in a post MCU world, and a Justice League movie flopped.
Yeah.
What? Like
Marvel is just crushing it though.
But it's crazy to me because the Justice League are the gold standard of superheroes. Like even if the MCU, for example, before Guardians of the Galaxy came out, nobody knew who they were. No one knew who the Winter Soldier was. No one knew who Falcon was, unless you were like a comic book fan. But everybody knows the Flash. Everybody knows Batman. Everybody knows Superman, Wonder Woman.
I mean, Superman
Aquaman
is the first superhero to pretty much ever be invented, right?
Almost positive.
Yeah.
But I might be wrong. I mean,
almost positive that might be wrong.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It maybe, but
Oh man.
yeah, it's just crazy to me that movie just was just so bad, and it was just sloppy. And poor Ben Affleck, like he poured his heart and soul into Batman vs Superman, and I think
like
his portrayal.
his Batman?
I do in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
In Justice League, he just looks like a middle-aged man who's just dying for a cigarette the entire time. Like he's just puffy and just kind of.
I think he was going through some stuff then too.
But I mean, because most of the shit that's in the movie is reshoots.
Yeah.
So you could tell that he was it was like his off season between movies. He wasn't dieting anymore. He wasn't working out anymore.
So this is going to be like a whole different movie almost.
Apparently. So like the movie's not even done. Like it's shot, but like that's it.
But so they've got to go back and do
there's no post work yet. So they're gonna spend $30 million to finish it and then put it on HBO Max. I guess Zack Snyder asked if they could do reshoots, and Warner Brothers was like, nope.
Wait a second. Wait, so Henry Cavill is gonna come back? Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they were like, can we do some reshoots? Like, nope. Yeah, $30 million, make it work.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you that budget will double by the time it's all done.
Why are they pouring more money into a movie that flopped anyway?
Because they're still going to hire like ILM or the really popular one over in Australia that does like all of the Marvel films, like all modern day movies. They're insanely expensive. So
I bet this is a marketing ploy for the Batman.
Could be.
I bet Warner Brothers is going to put this out on HBO Max next year, and then right around the time the Batman comes out, don't miss Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves.
Look at that voiceover.
The Batman.
Man, why are we hiring other people to do our voiceovers? We should just have you.
I don't know why people don't hire me to do anything.
Right. Hey. Oh my God. But that's not true.
I swear.
People have hired you for acting
super talented.
shit. Yeah.
I just sit in my spare room
As we
and
look
stare
at
out the window doing
Chance's
monologues.
poster of himself in his movie.
Yeah. My wife put that up there, so I'm not a complete dick.
Is that out yet? They knew they were doing the premiere and everything.
They had like a live stream for some festival on April 18th. But that was I don't know. I'd have to.
Yeah, have you talked to Dean at all? Dean Cain, everyone. We're talking about Dean Cain.
What was the last time I spoke to Dean? I don't know. I think he told me congratulations on getting married, but
that's a nice one.
because the live stream was ironically the day I got married at the exact same time. So he's like, "Yeah, man, it's gonna stream at 2:00." I'm like, "Yeah,
I'm getting married then, so
I'm a little busy." But
one of your two actors in your film won't be able to watch it. But
yeah, but
that sucks.
Apparently, it did pretty well.
I'm sure it did. It was awesome. It was great.
Thank you, Logan.
When that comes out, check out Call the Shot.
Yeah.
Chance did amazing.
Yeah, I kind of fear. I don't fear it, but in the back of my mind, I always think like if our filmmaking career really does go where we want it to, and we have this podcast that's still out there, people are going to be like, "Well, you said this about this movie, and then you made a bad movie," or you said this about this guy's performance, and then you gave a bad performance.
You know what? Here's your cover story. Art is subjective.
It is subjective.
There you go.
It is subjective.
What's bad
and
to one?
nobody sets out to make a bad movie
That's
on
right.
purpose, unless you're Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was like a tax thing. That was like a tax fraud thing. Like they purposefully made a bad movie
Get the fuck
to
out
like
of here.
launder money. Yeah,
They
if
kind
they
of
did,
talk
that's
about
fucking
that
crazy.
in
Yeah.
The Disaster Artist. They're like, this account has millions coming through it all the time, but we don't know. Like, but how so? How?
What the fuck?
The fuck
Now
does
it's a
that guy
cult
do?
classic.
But it's terrible.
So you remember how earlier we were talking about time?
Yeah.
That leads me into our next bit of news, which is Tenet.
Ooh.
The new Tenet trailer came out, and it
Fantastic.
looks fucking insane.
I only watched it once, but it did look really good.
I've watched it several times.
I'm sure you have.
And it looks pretty good.
Robert Pattinson has been so busy. I mean, he's just been working back to back on shit.
I mean, he's been working for years.
Yeah.
But people don't.
Yeah.
He does a lot of low radar stuff.
Indie stuff. I mean, he did one where he was like kind of a fugitive. He robbed a bank with like his like disabled brother or something like that. That's a really good movie. You should check that one out. Good time, yeah. Really good movie. Haven't finished it, but it was really good.
So yeah, Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan, the GOAT, stars John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, and they play some kind of like CIA national security
Yeah, we don't really know.
people dealing with World War III, which is Kenneth Branagh. He plays a Russian who has the ability to like rewind time. So they said it's not time travel in the trailer. They said it's
time manipulation or
it's
inversion. Okay.
So kind of like Doctor Strange, how he can rewind moments and certain points in time.
That's
so like in the
interesting.
trailer, time is moving forward and backwards. So like, like they got that car chase and the other cars are still driving normal, like going straight like normal.
And they're going
then that one car
reverse, yeah.
flips and then it rewinds and then it fixes itself. So time is moving forward and backwards at the same time in the same moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's gonna be trippy.
Just leave it to Nolan. I don't know. Something I just couldn't help but grit and like just smile when I was watching the trailer and Robert Pattinson's like time travel. And John David Washington's like, no. And I'm like, no. And he's like, inversion. And then you see the bullet fly back into the gun. And she's like, you're not firing the bullet, you're catching it. And I'm like, leave it to this motherfucker right here to just take something pretty basic. You got some spies trying to stop a villain that has time travel manipulation and then just kind of flip it on its head and make it something else. And
I'm afraid it could be really cheesy and like really bad. But I mean, I don't honestly, we've said this before, I don't think he's ever made like a flop.
My thing with time travel movies is the time travel element always gets a little gimmicky.
Yeah, it has to be like spot on. I mean,
so I don't want that whole thing to like run its course by the time the movie's over. Like by the third act, I don't want to be like, all right, I get it.
it seems like a lot of his movies have like some sort of time element in it. I mean, Inception, even Interstellar had like, when they go to the planet and they're there for 30 minutes, but in real life it's been
Relativity,
I
which I still don't understand.
yeah, it's all relative, man.
Of course it is. So yeah, Tenet. I'm very excited about this. This is my most anticipated movie of the year.
We'll go and see that in theaters, mask and all.
Set to come out July 27th.
Yeah.
Or no, July 17th.
17th? Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, how the world will be by then. Hopefully.
Only like
hopefully
a month
theaters,
away.
Well, theaters are slowly opening back up, so
right.
I'm sure we'll be there before we know it.
Disney's opening.
When?
Like next week.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
I would
Same
not.
with Universal, too.
Nope.
They're got to be hurting for cash. I mean, every day they're closed, they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars. They're still paying all their staff, too, so it's about time.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no. Well, I'm not gonna say that. Next bit of news: What We Do in the Shadows, the FX TV series, it got renewed for a 3rd season.
That's awesome.
That makes me so happy.
Great movie, great indie, like pretty much an indie film.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it was.
it's really good.
It's a New Zealand film.
Great TV show.
Yeah, the show is hilarious.
I don't think I finished season 1 yet. I got to the part where, spoiler alert for season 1, but I got to the part where Taika Waititi comes back in with all the other famous celebrities.
Yeah. I freaked out. I was like, Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
What's that
Huge.
one chick's name from Westworld? Fucking Rachel Evan Wood?
It
whatever her
isn't
name is.
like Danny.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, yeah.
Fucking vampire.
What?
Wesley Snipes was there. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. So I gotta finish
that's
that.
a great show, guys. If you got Hulu, it's on Netflix. If you got cable or not,
If you got Hulu, it's on Netflix. So.
take that out.
No way.
Fix it in post.
No way.
If you have Hulu, it's on FX, and if you have cable, it's on FX.
Yeah, it's on FX.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. There's only 1.5 seasons out so far. Season 2 should be done here soon. I think there's only like 2 or 3 episodes left of the season. So that's awesome. Great show.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be happier.
Well, you
On to the next. Logan director James Mangold has been confirmed to write and direct Indiana Jones 5. So that whole Indy 5, man, that movie was supposed to come out forever ago. It was supposed to originally come out, I think, in like 2018, maybe earlier than that. But I mean, they just can't. They can't keep a writer. They can't keep a director. Steven Spielberg finally dropped out. He said some shit like. He said, like, when he dropped out, he's like, I think it's time to let Indy be passed on to a younger filmmaker and, like, a younger generation. And I'm like, because Steven Spielberg has done, didn't he do all of them?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's bullshit. How are you going to say you want Indy? Like, how are you going to say you want to make this Indiana Jones for a new generation when you got a fucking 80-year-old Indiana Jones?
I mean, if that was the case, he should have stopped after the 3rd one, because then it finishes off the quote-unquote original trilogy of the Indiana Jones films, which is again one of the best trilogies of all time.
The Crystal Skull isn't even good.
It's got elements. I like it because it's an Indiana Jones
elements
movie.
like Shia LaBeouf swinging from vines with monkeys.
That's fucking stupid.
What do you mean? That's
I
golden
love
cinema.
I love the whole beginning where they're taken into the the room and we get to see like the arcs in there. That's really fun. And
You're talking about when he gets in that refrigerator and he gets blown up?
No, that's a little after that.
Okay. Up
Until then, really cool.
Up until like the 20-minute mark.
Yeah. I mean, even still, it's fine to watch. I mean, you can watch it and like hate on it all you want. That's fine with me, but it's still a fun. It's just fun to see a 70-year-old man at that point, like 75.
Not really. What the
run.
fuck? What is he doing? Like, come on, Indy.
Yeah.
He was pushing it in the Crystal Skull.
God, and then he filmed The Force Awakens. He's older.
I love in The Force Awakens when one of those things, the Rathars, they get out.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford does that weird old man run shuffle.
Yeah.
And it punches that guy in the face. It's just I'm like, if you get sucked out by an old ass Han Solo, you just suck. But Indy 5. Will it
Interesting.
be good? Who knows? I like James Mangold.
I love James Mangold. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think they might recast Shia LaBeouf. I don't know. He's been redeeming himself, so.
I don't know, man.
Or maybe it's not even going to be about them.
Have you seen any of his 2 newer movies?
Peanut Butter Falcon and the one where he's in it
Honey
and plays
Boy?
his dad?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't seen them.
I believe they are both on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
I know Honey Boy is.
I mean, he got nominated for a bunch of shit for that.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're amazing.
Yeah. So, next bit of news. Solo sequel might be coming to Disney Plus.
What?
And by might, I mean very unlikely. So the writer, just like with the Snyder Cut, everybody's like, release the Snyder Cut, and like now it's happening. People like make Solo 2 happen has been trending for like a couple of years now.
Wow,
So people
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so people are on Twitter. You're not really.
Oh yeah, I don't really.
You're not really on Twitter.
I'm not really on social media personally all that much.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so people want make Solo 2 happen, and so the writer, he was saying that a feature film sequel is very unlikely. It's not even being pursued at all, and
Well, what would be the point?
in a Disney Plus series is kind of unlikely too. But he did say that all of the like positive support from fans does help, but I mean, that movie flopped hard. That movie
It's a
was
great
hot
movie.
mess. Like, yeah, you talked me into watching it because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not watching this
It's
shit.
a great fucking movie.
Who wants to see a Harrison Ford less Han Solo, especially right after we got The Force Awakens?
But the moment that motherfucker is on screen, that's Han Solo.
Yeah.
He points and everything just like him. His mannerisms exactly the same. That guy, Alden, what's his name? It's
Alden Riken.
Yeah.
Alden.
something
yeah.
hard to pronounce. But he's amazing. He's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, they did kind of set up a sequel.
Right. What's the point? Spoiler alert for Solo. I mean, what's the point of having Darth Maul in it? We know
Spoiler
that
alert,
he's
no
gonna.
one saw it anyway.
All right. I mean, we know that Darth Maul is already alive. I guess they just wanted to tie that into. I don't know.
I mean, here's my thing. They brought Darth Maul back, and everybody's like, "Oh, they could put Darth Maul in Solo 2, or oh, they can put Darth Maul in the Obi-Wan series." But why? We
know that he dies.
Yeah,
by
we know
Obi-Wan.
that he dies in Rebels. So regardless, he dies after these
Right.
movies that we see. So what's the
There's
real?
never gonna be any
there's not going to be any.
tension.
Yeah, there's not going to be any resolution if he's the villain.
Like, it was cool to see Anakin become Darth Vader because we didn't really know much about his past and stuff like that. But like, we know how.
You fought in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Anyways.
That was a Jedi Knight. Same as your father.
Right. But like, what's the point? We already know how this motherfucker dies. So
Yeah. I mean,
I'm uninterested in that.
I don't think Solo needs a sequel.
I don't
though.
think it does either.
I understand that they set it up or whatever, but do we really need it? I mean, we didn't need the. I mean, do we really need?
We didn't really need
movies, period?
Solo.
But
I mean, I don't think anyone asked for that movie, but
literally no one.
still cool that it happened.
Yeah,
But-
sure. Yeah, Ron Howard, he did a pretty good job.
He did.
All things considered.
Yeah.
Came in like so late in the game,
Yeah.
but
Some might say he was doing it solo. Because the title of the movie. I've heard that they're going to do a spinoff called Chewie.
would you watch that though?
No way. I
wouldn't even watch that in animated form.
It's all Wookiees, no subtitles.
Do you know
They're
how
just
annoying that would
roaring
be?
at each other.
I say that all the time. I could not be around Chewie because Chewie, essentially, all he really does is just yell.
Oh,
He's like a big ass dog. Could you imagine a dog just continuously barking at you all the time? That'd be
Yes,
so annoying.
I could. Obi,
Shut
I'm
the
around
fuck up.
Obi a lot, so.
Couldn't do it.
But it is cool that they give him lines in that movie, and like he's just replying to what he says, and he's not, because like a lot of times they're always like, yeah, you said it, we are gonna have to go through that wormhole. They're just repeating what the character has said without they're kind of implying it.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Right.
Anyways, moving on. So, Jason Momoa and Peter Dinklage have been cast to star in a vampire action comedy called Good, Bad, and Undead. Yeah,
What?
sounds pretty cool. So,
Never heard of that.
Jason Momoa is going to play the vampire, and Peter Dinklage is playing Van Helsing. So he's hunting. Oh my god, I can't wait to see this. This is going to be so good.
Is it what's the genre?
It's an action comedy.
Okay, comedy. Okay,
Dude.
all right.
Peter Dinklage. I love Peter Dinklage. He's a
didn't wanna-
fucking man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like,
I love him in Elf. I mean, I love him in.
have you seen
all the
Death at a
shit.
Funeral?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I forgot he was in that.
That's a super underrated movie.
He's in 3 billboards outside
Out
of
of, what is it? Something
fucking
Minnesota?
something Missouri.
Yeah,
You say Mexico?
Minnesota, but I think it is Missouri.
Actually, is it Minnesota?
I don't know.
Who knows? So Logan's never seen Game of Thrones until
Yep.
today.
Dun, 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 dun.
Peter Dinklage is Tyrion Lannister. My
He's
favorite.
one of the main characters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I love Jon Snow and Tyrion. Don't know which one I love more. They're pretty much tied for me.
Oh, really?
So yeah, he's just Peter Dinklage steals the show. Out of 8 seasons, he's won 4 Emmys.
Whoa. That's a shit ton. Damn.
Yeah, he's a man.
And you know what? I'll say this. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but for the most part, it's gone completely unspoiled for me.
Really?
Yeah.
How is
I mean, I don't have social media
Yeah,
really.
how's that? That's what I was
stay
getting
off
ready to
of- I stay off of pretty much everything. It's not that I don't have it. Oh, I have it. I don't post anything though.
I love Twitter just for memes and outlandish tweets. Twitter is literally just a war zone. You like, I can't tell you how many times we'll just be sitting on the couch and I'll peek over at my wife's phone as she's scrolling through Twitter and I'll see like 5 pairs of tits. And I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, it's just on my feed. I'm like, what is that? That's
that
not an
shit's
answer.
allowed on Twitter?
Yes, everything is allowed on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah. Twitter's not for the weak.
I thought that was only like Tumblr or something.
Twitter's wild, man.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. Good, Bad, and Undead. Jason Momoa, Peter Dinklage. Can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
People were fan casting. They wanted what's that movie? Twin with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Oh, yeah. Where they're in like
There was,
New
like-
York or something?
Yeah, there's like a fan casting to do Jason Momoa and Peter Dinklage, and now they're doing this movie, so that works
That's
too.
funny.
Yeah.
I can't really say I've seen Jason Momoa anything that I've like loved him in.
He's in that really dumb looking TV show on Apple
See?
Plus.
Chance had the best thought about
Fucking
that.
dumb. So like everybody's blind, right? And they've been born blind for like decades or whatever it is. And then these 2 kids are born in the world that can see now. And I'm just like, I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, this world doesn't feel real to me. I'm like, why are all these people making jewelry and wearing necklaces and shit if everybody's blind? Like you can't. Why are you wearing? That's just dumb. If no one can see, who are you showing your jewelry off to?
I mean, I get it.
It's dumb.
Although blind people in real life, I mean, they do wear jewelry and stuff.
Yeah, but
they're for other people.
everybody
but
else
everyone
isn't blind. They can actually
blind.
see it.
I don't know. I guess it makes them feel good. I don't know.
Sure.
I guess.
But hey, I
Who
haven't
are we
actually
to
seen the
say
show.
that you can't wear jewelry?
If anybody's
or nice
blind
clothes?
out there, let us know.
Right.
But yeah,
Let us
Let us
know
know.
if you're. Oh my god. Yeah, let us know if you're blind. Thanks.
yeah, and then and then we'll send you a necklace. So there's that. Next bit of news. Rolling on. Tom Hanks' new World War II. You gotta keep it together, man. We gotta get through this news.
Okay, go on.
Fuck. Shit. Where am I?
Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks. You're right. The Tom Hanks.
my
his
favorite
new-
actor.
Is he really?
Oh yeah,
Did I know that?
100%. I don't know. Favorite
blame
actor
you.
in my favorite movie, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah. I did know that. So he's got another World War II movie coming out. It's called Greyhound.
That's like his. It's got to be like his 3rd or
Yeah.
4th. I
So
mean,
that's set to release on Apple TV Plus now. And you know, Hanks actually wrote this movie.
he's a brilliant writer.
Dude, did you see the trailer for this movie, Greyhound?
No.
It's amazing. He plays a so he's like a ship captain during World War II, and like a heavy. I don't know what they're called. I'm not a military man. It's not an aircraft carrier because there's no aircraft on there. I don't think. But
Like a battleship.
wait, maybe it's a submarine. Anyway,
Does it go under the water?
I can't remember. I know it's at least in the water, but
He's a captain.
yes.
Okay.
And they're like stranded out in the middle of the sea, and they're fending off Nazis.
Let's with the damn
Can't
Nazis.
get any better than that. Ship captain Tom Hanks fighting Nazis.
Cool.
Yeah, he wrote it. Trailer looks pretty good. Like the way I don't know the director's name, but the way, at least in the trailer, the movements of their ships are shot and the frames, it's very intense. Like it feels like you're out there watching these 2 giant machines just blow each other up in the ocean. So that was pretty cool.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't got anything like that since like the Hunt for Red October.
Yeah,
I
like the
mean,
entire trailer was just intense to me. So I couldn't imagine what that would be like to see on the big screen. But no, that's not happening because it's going to Apple TV Plus. So,
Yeah.
but regardless, I'll watch it. It's Tom Hanks.
Woohoo.
Yeah, the goat.
I hope him and his wife are doing better. since because they had the whole coronavirus and everything.
Recovered.
Yeah, I know he was like, yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He was like donating like his blood and stuff because now he holds, like a bunch of antibodies to fight the virus and everything. So that's cool.
Yeah, I like Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
He's a
me
nice
too.
guy.
Yeah,
I just talked to him last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I got him on speed dial, but I'm only allowed to call him on Sundays.
God, I swear to God, if you had Tom Hanks's number and you've never like given it to me, I would punch you.
Why would I gotta ask him first? I can't
you just give it to me.
How would you feel if I just gave your number out to
That's fine.
random people?
Have you ever seen me answer the phone?
All right. Well, hey, we'll put Logan's number in the description.
Give me a call.
Yeah, you can just hit him up with anything.
I probably won't answer.
He leaves his Bluetooth on, so you can just airdrop whatever.
Yeah. Actually, I do.
Yeah, me too. Last bit of news. I already said this earlier, but so HBO Max drops today. It's actually got quite an impressive lineup of movies. It's coming pretty hard out the gate, considering it's
coming pretty hard.
Yeah. Never mind. Do children listen to this? I doubt it.
I always put on YouTube, it's not meant for kids. So.
Well, yeah, because YouTube has that new thing to where I can't remember what it's called, but they're a lot more strict on content that could be for kids,
like a parental kind of thing.
And you could potentially get fined a lot of money.
Good.
So I'm glad you did
that whole salad fingers thing, or not salad fingers. I just saw that picture today. No, that whole what that Momo thing, where it was coming around in videos. My sister was freaking out about that because they have, she has got 2 kids, but it was
what is it?
It's it was in a bunch of kids shows, right? That's on YouTube and stuff like that. Because there are content creators out there who just make stuff one of the big ones called Blippi. He's kind of just a guy who goes around to zoos and stuff like that. But halfway through the video, it would cut to this scary little image, and it would be telling kids to hurt themselves or do some crazy shit. And I don't know how they did that shit and how they got in those videos and how they got away with it, but that's when YouTube started cracking down on all that.
That's the world we live in.
That's right. That's crazy. Why would you want to do that? That's stupid.
Anyway,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they got an impressive list of movies.
What's the lineup?
So we got Joker, Hobbs and Shaw, the Lord of the Rings trilogy,
gosh.
The Dark Knight.
You had me until you said Hobbs and Shaw.
I still haven't seen that.
Don't see it.
I could have watched it for free on a plane, on a flight to Vegas.
Said that.
Still didn't watch it.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, but I was talking to somebody recently. They were like, "Oh, you gotta watch that, man. It's so good. Idris Elba makes that movie, man." And I'm
Idris Elba's really cool in it for sure, but I mean, it's just such a I can't believe something like that gets made. I get maybe
think about it.
I mean, I can't, but I can, in the sense of
I get it. So
Hollywood, needs those kind of movies.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, that's what keeps the lights on. That's what pays the bills. But I mean, the same argument could be made about the MCU. Mm-hmm. How people just bitch and moan because they're so successful.
I mean, I think those movies do have a certain formula that they stick to, and it does get very tiresome. No one ever stays dead. Come on.
Yeah, but
that's very annoying.
A lot of people's argument today in the industry is that the Marvel movies, these Titan blockbuster movies, or Hobbs and Shaw, these movies are taking opportunities from other movies.
How so?
The Irishman, for example, or whatever bumfuck rom-com is coming out where people would rather go see an MCU movie than a rom-com movie. But I'm just when you look back on the history of cinema, there's always been eras of genre. So for a while it was the westerns, those were the titans. For a while it was the gangster movies, those were the titans. And now we're getting into the comic book genre, and those are the titans right now. And I just kind of find it silly that people want to bitch and moan and kind of call it unfair. I'm just
people are gonna watch what they want to watch.
Yeah, I'm don't act like romantic comedies or these other movies were ever huge at the box office.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The last big romantic comedy that was as big as the Avengers was Titanic. I mean, it's just case in point.
So I don't know. I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah.
But what you were saying was how they get formulaic.
Right.
And people are yeah, comic book fatigue, blah, blah.
I think one that does it really again. Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are my favorite out of all of the MCU movies. I mean, James Gunn did a fantastic job. Yondu, like, he actually dies. It's emotional. Like, James Gunn, like, there's some incredible cinematography in those movies. The second one especially, but man, they really pull at your
I think the second one went too far with the humor. I think. Oh yeah, we did do that.
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of them.
MCU thing.
Yeah,
didn't we?
I don't know. I think we did up to
We never
Infinity
talked about
War.
Endgame.
No, we didn't.
It's good.
All right, it's really good. That's our review.
It's good.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best.
Yeah, it's the highest grossing movie of all time.
That's right.
Doesn't mean it's good.
Except for Gone
But
with
it's
the Wind.
good. How?
Well, adjusting for inflation.
I don't want to hear that inflation shit. I hate when people talk about that. If you want to talk about inflation, you got to talk about like literally everything else too.
Right. Oh, of
like
course.
all of the you can't just pick and choose. Like, never mind. You're gonna get me going. You're gonna get this. This is why the news takes an hour.
You know what? We're doing pretty good. We're at 36 minutes.
Good, because that was my last bit of news.
Good night, everybody.
Unless you got some shite.
That's all I got.
Cool.
Wait. No, that's all I got. I didn't have anything. I was trying to think of something real fast, but I didn't.
Cool. All right.
Don't break.
Guess it's time for the review.
What do we want? Oh, The Gentleman.
The Gentleman. Written and directed by Guy Ritchie. Got a budget of $22 million. It grossed $114 million worldwide.
22. I wrote down 115.
Did you really? No, it grossed $114 million worldwide.
Oh, okay. That's probably what I...
Yeah. So
I'm an idiot.
this... so Guy Ritchie, he did the live action Aladdin. He did Snatch.
Snatch. I don't know that one.
The Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Two Smoking Barrels. So he's like a crime gangster filmmaker. So the film stars Matthew McConaughey. He plays a character who owns a marijuana empire out in London, and he's looking to sell it and retire. And I really, really enjoyed this movie. So it came out in January of this year. That being said, it is my favorite movie of the year so far. But
not much competition there.
yeah, that doesn't really mean much. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great movie, but
Came out this year.
Yeah, it came out in
Wow, I didn't
January.
know.
Yeah, it feels like so long ago.
Yeah.
But because like they call January the wasteland of movies. 'Cause that's usually when the studios dump their dog shit. The movies that they don't have any confidence in, that they know are bad, they just dump them in January. But every so often you do get like those diamonds in the rough.
Right.
That was an Aladdin reference. Get it?
Hey.
Yeah, thank you.
I've only seen that Aladdin, so I couldn't tell you.
Hugh Grant's character, he plays Fletcher, the PI.
His best role yet.
Yes, yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a character role. So that character, his job is basically to narrate how everything is going down, and what's very interesting about it is the technique as to how he narrates what's going on. And it sets up different scenarios, and you're not really sure what actually did go down or what didn't go down. And it's a fun, like,
Right.
twisty, turny, crime, murder, weed movie. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were saying something.
Nope. I laughed. I giggled like a schoolgirl.
I think the cast is great. Charlie Hunnam, Michelle
Hunnam,
Dockery.
that's his name.
Yeah.
I can never remember.
I've seen him in so much shit, and I've never really been like.
Yeah, he did
impressed
King
by him.
Arthur and the Sword, right?
Yeah,
or that,
another
or
Guy
is it
Ritchie
just
movie.
Arthur or something like that?
I think it's King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Or
yeah,
some shit like that.
that's right.
That was another Guy Ritchie movie.
That one flopped big time.
Yeah, it was so. Yeah, 'cause
I've never
it was
seen
so
it, but-
like it's so stylized. I
Yeah.
feel because I watched that movie one night.
He was trying to do like something really gritty. I could tell, from the trailers and everything. And
Even like the way he fights when he's holding that sword, it's so weird. But like Charlie Hunnam's been in King Arthur, he's been in Pacific Rim, Sons of Anarchy. A whole bunch of stuff. And this is the first movie where I've actually liked him though. If that makes sense. Like, it's not that I dislike him.
right,
It's just
this
like
is a really good role for him.
it's just like Charlie Hunnam's just never really impressed me, and I kind of feel the same way about like Daisy Ridley. Although she's impressive in Star Wars, but
right.
it's just it's more of the same. Like I haven't seen her do much else. Kind of the same with Henry Cavill.
Right.
So it was really refreshing to actually like Charlie Hunnam. Like
I get that.
He there's that scene where he comes in and he has that monologue where he like takes control of the room
with the five or the four boys and the girl.
Yeah. And I don't know, he just has like this presence to where I feel like if he just walked in a room and he walked across the entire room and the entire time he kept eye contact with me, I'd shit my pants by the time he got like 2 feet away from me.
I think that was probably the best scene in the movie. That one and the one where they're sitting down reading the script and like, all right, try to keep up now.
He's like, it's a bit fucking wooden.
Yeah, it's a bit wooden. Come on, what do you do? I think that's a really
put some emotion
scene.
into it. Yeah. Mark Strong, he plays the guy that McConaughey tries to sell his farm to. Colin Farrell steals it as the coach. His accent is just great.
I forgot he was in that. Well, that's his real accent, right? He's Irish, yeah.
His name is Fahawk, but it's spelled with a PH, so it sounds like Fahawk. So it's fuck.
It's fun.
Yeah, something like that. Listen, anyway, it's just so good. And Henry Golding plays Dry Eye. We talked about him a couple weeks back because he's playing Snake Eyes in that new G.I. Joe Snake Eyes remake. So
yeah, he did say
he's
that.
also in. My wife was watching Crazy Rich Asians earlier. And I walked in the living room and she's literally crying. And
She's crying?
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this movie's that good?
I've never seen it. I've heard it's really good.
She's like, her parents don't agree with who she wants to be with. And I'm like, oh, let me get out of here before
that hits home.
Yeah, before I start feeling emotions. But yeah, cast is great. Michelle Dockery, she's in Downton Abbey. I've never seen it.
Me neither.
She's in that new Apple TV Plus series with Chris Evans called Defending Jacob.
Oh, we're gonna start watching that.
There's the season finale is this Friday. And it's so good, man. It's such a good show. It's like it's very intense. Right. It's a really well written.
Well written.
Yeah, that too. But yeah,
what are your likes and dislikes?
My likes. Well, let me start with my dislikes.
God, you keep doing it.
The plot is so. It starts out like breakneck. Like as soon as the movie starts, it's just a breakneck pace. And I feel like the first time I saw this movie, I felt like it was a little hard to follow the movie.
I was very confused
up until Colin Farrell's character gets introduced to Coach, and then you're like, oh, okay. But like Guy Ritchie he doesn't hold your hand, he just goes.
Right.
But if you sit back and you just watch and you pay attention, you will get caught back up. You will get back on track. It's just so like I don't know, it's just a breakneck speed.
I think about halfway through, probably when Colin Farrell was introduced, that's when I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of see everything starting to piece together. Place, yeah.
I really don't have too many dislikes though. I really enjoy this movie. It's like the dialogue is great. It's really well written. I don't know why I can't say that.
Well written.
The plot is like twisty and turny. That's typically something I really, really like in a movie. But like I said, it does take a few sharp turns and you're kind of like, what? But it reels you back in. And I love the meta approach to Hugh Grant's character with the screenplay, because Hugh Grant's character is basically Guy Ritchie explaining the movie to you.
Okay.
And he's like, I've got this fancy screenplay that I wrote all by myself. And he talks about
wrote this movie?
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. He wrote, directed, and produced. Wow. So this is what's crazy is this movie, so Aladdin came out last summer, and then this movie came out in January. When the fuck did he have time to write, direct, and produce this movie? That means that he was shooting this movie while he was doing the post for Aladdin.
Yeah, he did some Michael J. Fox shit for
he was in post for Aladdin and pre-production for this at the same time.
Busy man.
Yeah, it's insane. But I bet he used all that Aladdin money to make this movie.
Probably. You think they paid him like $22 million?
I don't know how much directors make.
I don't know. It depends.
Because I mean, if an actor can make $8 million.
Yeah. I think the director does typically get paid more, but I think it also depends on who you are. I think if you're Steven Spielberg, you'll probably get paid $100 million. I
bet it depends on your agent too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because believe it or not,
when you need an agent,
actors and models aren't the only ones that have like agents and managers. The film industry is all unionized. So you have your directors guilds, you have your screenwriters guilds, you have your actors guilds, and when it comes to Hollywood, it's showbiz, not show friends. You get what you like you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. So
Yep. It's a cold, cold world out there.
yeah, yeah, it's a dog eat dog world. I hated that expression. What does that mean?
Dog eat
Dogs don't eat dogs.
I guess they do if they're desperate.
Sure. That's pretty much all I got. The characters are really colorful. I did not like Michelle Dockery, McConaughey's wife.
I think she was underused.
Yeah, she was gold.
Yeah.
She stole all of her scenes.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
I love when she comes to the garage and he's up there and he's having old dude try out the cup of tea, that joint.
Oh yeah.
And that the banter that he and his wife have going back and forth. I love that shit.
It's really good.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm sure I'll say more things once you.
Yeah, this is the third time you had seen this movie, or fourth time, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it more than once for sure.
I had only seen it once. You know, I think mostly I liked it. There's not too much that I didn't like about it, but again, it wasn't a movie that really like blew me away. I mean, I gave it. I'll tell you my rating first of all, but then because I gotta backtrack. But I could probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7.
Wow, that's kind of low.
Yeah, I know, but again, there's not much I didn't like about it. But it just wasn't one of those movies that I could just find myself watching again.
I find this movie kind of along the lines of for me, kind of like Knives Out, where it's like it's an ensemble cast.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
to where it's Knives Out. Well, that's a different thing, but
we could review that one.
Yeah, they're making another one of those.
I can't wait.
Don't get me wrong, it's not like the plot to The Gentleman was like a bare bones plot or anything. It's very complex and there's a lot of moving parts. And I don't know, I liked it. I liked the characters. I liked what was going on. I liked every obstacle that came up. I liked Hugh Grant's character Fletcher because he's just a wormy, just slimy bastard. He's trying to blackmail like a drug empire, and he just doesn't give a shit. And I love when Charlie Hunnam's character is Raymond. He's like, yeah, I knew you were following me. He's like, our jobs are pretty similar, except I'm a lot better at it than you are. And we see him in the ghillie suit, and he's hiding in the woods and just shit like that. This is great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I don't know, because I feel like nowadays, we were talking about this earlier, so like you were saying you didn't like how the one character called that black guy a black cunt. And what Colin Farrell was saying, like in today's, especially today, in today's like social climate, it's shit like that doesn't really fly anymore. But I liked what Colin Farrell was saying. He said he's like, he can't call me a black cunt. That's racist. He's like, he's not calling black people cunts. He's calling you a cunt, and you just so happen to be black. And
also, they throw that word around like
yeah. I don't think I've ever heard that word. Yeah,
but apparently over in England, that is just kind of a throwaway word.
My sister-in-law's boyfriend is British, and he says cunt all the time. He says like cunt and slag. I guess slag means like slut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just says all kinds of shit, and
so interesting.
He's like wanker. It's so funny, bro.
That's probably my favorite one, wanker.
They get into this weird thing to where they trade insults back and forth. So she goes, idiot. He's like, cunt. She called him a bastard. He's like, slag. And she said something else, and he just said cunt again. But this time when he said it, like, he rose up in his chair, and he's like, cunt. And it was just the funniest shit. Anyway, I do like that message of what he was saying. He's gypsy. I'm not going to call him a gypsy fuck. He's like, maybe you should, as long as it comes from a place of love.
Right.
And I don't know, it's kind of funny. Like when you're hanging out with a group of, like when you have groups of friends.
Groupies, right.
And yeah, exactly. And they're all different nationalities, different ethnicities, and shades and colors and shapes and all that kind of stuff. And you can, I mean, let's be honest, everybody does this. You trade insults back and forth, and I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. That made me laugh, especially like nowadays, to where people just, we live in like a cancel culture. When people are exposed to something they don't like, or they hear something they don't like, their immediate response is just to get rid of it. They don't deal with it. They don't like to talk about it. Just get it out of my face, and it doesn't exist anymore. Right.
And I don't know. I thought that message was kind of funny. And
yeah, that part I didn't really mind, but like when they're, I mean, I could see like, yeah, it comes from a place of love. Sure, fine. There is one part though where they're making fun of the way I don't know if it's Dry Eye how he speaks, because he's a Chinese guy, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
but he's British.
but he says license to kill.
He said Russians to kill.
Yeah,
That's
come
funny,
on.
bro. Like it's
Come
funny. Like he
on.
doesn't. He's not trying to insult anybody. It's just funny. I don't know. Like
there's a fine line.
yeah, there
It's like
is,
when,
but I
when the
don't.
Christmas Story.
I don't think
Right?
it was done distastefully. I don't. Yeah, like I
I'd
never
have to go back
once,
and watch it. You know,
because I
we'll
mean
put it on blast for that. But
that line was said as a joke, you know, and he like I don't know. He called him a millennial firework, just
Oh,
ready
right,
to go
yeah.
off and all that kind of shit.
I
But
know it was said as a joke.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it was done tastefully. I don't feel like. I mean, I'm not Asian, so I don't really know. So
So I like to write a lot of notes. I like to, you know,
nerd.
yeah, I'm a nerd. So, very beginning, James Bond style credits, like it,
Yeah. With the gun. Yeah,
like
yeah,
it a lot. Very old school. I love it when movies used to do that when
They
the credits
start
were
at the
first.
end
Yeah, you know, the first movie to really change that is Star Wars.
To start at the end. Mm-hmm. Really?
No. Credits, not at the beginning of the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Put them at the end. Star Wars is like one of the first movies to really do that. I should say it's probably not one of the first, but it is the most popular one that did it. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Again, Hugh Grant, this is his best role yet. I think it's refreshing when like they go to, you know, Hugh Grant is like talking about this is my screenplay, and they go to like, now picture this 35 millimeter cinescope, you know, 2x3x5 aspect ratio, stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, they actually know their
He
shit.
said real cinema.
Right. It's fun to, you know, it's fun and refreshing to have like that kind of talk in a movie where it's not like pander towards, you know, an everyday audience who might not know what that stuff means.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, if you're a filmmaker, you probably know what they're talking about.
Got a good
it's
laugh out of it, yeah.
It'd be like if you drive, you know, from NASCAR and you say, well, this is my race car. It goes very fast. Or you could say, you know, this is my 12 liter, you know.
This is my 13-cylinder engine.
Right. So that was really cool. Yeah, the dialogue, super great. It's very stylized. You know, when he's like in the very beginning, when you got Matthew McConaughey in there, he's talking about the movie, genuinely thought, oh, this is a movie, you know, that he's actually pitching to him. So it's just very different dialogue. It feels like very old school. Like no one really talks to each other like that. You know, like they had a Fox reference in there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't write down the line, but that whole section in that is so very interesting.
It's the way Guy Ritchie writes his dialogue is very poetic. It's got good quippy back and forth. It's very Tarantino-esque in that kind of way. To where it just has a rhythm to it, and it just kind of goes.
Yeah.
It has like a cadence.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not easy to write like that. It takes like years of experience and some great skill. So that's cool. Move on to like the car, you know, where they're in the garage. We get to see the wife is that the first time we see her? One of the first times.
No, she's at that dinner party.
Oh, that's
earlier.
right. Yeah. But it's cool. We get to see like what she does and the type
I love
of
their
business.
relationship, that husband and wife relationship.
It's really cool. You know, it's cool to see like that's an actual like real garage working on some cool cars. Like they got, you know, I got some Bentleys in there, an M3, GTR.
Oh, yeah, you're a car guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I love them.
Fuck
cool
'em.
Range Rover, Alfa Romeo Ghibli. Cool.
I just need something to get me to point A to point B.
Oh my god.
Maybe even a bicycle. Just get tandem bikes. That should be
Let's
our new
do
logo
it. Oh my
for the
god.
podcast.
Us on a tandem,
Tandem
bike.
bike.
Oh, that's
Riding
stupid.
off into the sunset.
Let's
and then
do
the
it.
clubhouse is in the background.
We just came up with our logo.
Yeah, there we go. Somebody draw that up for
right,
us.
yeah.
Send it in.
Go on. I like that the auto body shop is like mostly women. That's really cool. It's cool to see like women in that kind of profession. I love the part where like the boxing students go to raid the
The weed farm.
yeah, and they're like, who are you guys?
He's like, hey,
get in here. Hey, come on in here. And they all just come in one by one.
Care for a fight?
Right. That's funny. I love that. I thought that was great. You know, there's a rule of threes.
Who the hell are you lot?
Right. There's a rule of threes for comedy. But, you know, they took it one step further, which being like, you know, say it once, it's funny. Say it twice, it's funny. Say it third time, that's gold.
I love the music video.
Yes.
That shit is gold.
Great. That was one of my notes. I'm like, so these guys are shooting like $1 million music video.
Yeah, with the cameras that they have.
Yeah, the cameras. Oh my god, the fog in the background, the really nice cars,
slow mo,
the
backflips and shit. It's so good. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's really cool. Which I think, you know, they intersplice or they intercut like real fighting and brutality in that. Would they allow that?
And I
don't know.
I don't know why, but it took me on my third viewing to actually listen to what he was saying in that song, and he's talking about them robbing them.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we got all.
Yeah.
So we got all buds, no dust. And I'm like, oh my god, like, why would you write us like you rated this?
Do you think
this place? Now you write a song about it.
The cops would never know, did it?
Hey, isn't that? Never mind. I was gonna say, isn't that hip hop? But that's generalizing. I feel
that is very good. Do you think that Guy Ritchie wrote that rap?
Fuck no.
I don't think he did either.
If he did, I'm gonna be very impressed.
I don't think he did either.
He should be making a lot more movies.
Right. Their clothing. I think the way that they dressed,
all the
like
plaid.
A lot of plaid.
Yeah.
It reminded me just like Kingsman.
Yeah, typical
all the way.
British aristocrat.
Thought that was really cool. Great touch because that's super British. I mean, that's really cool. I said it has such a unique style too. I like the music video. The whole color grading throughout the entire film is very like vibrant. Mm-hmm. Lots of colors instead of like your typical, you know, kind of gangster film when it might be like gritty and stuff. But this kind of felt like, you know, Wes Anderson does a crime genre. Really cool. If you're not familiar who Wes Anderson is, all of his movies, like take for instance The Grand Budapest Hotel. Lots of pinks, blues, whites, really popping.
I almost said Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's Wes Craven.
Yeah, that's Wes Craven. Yeah, you're right. They're brothers, actually.
Yeah. No. Wes is their family name.
Right, Wes is their family name, but they go by it first. Yeah, I said the apartment scene. That's fantastic.
Yeah, when Charlie Hunnam's character comes in to get what's her name? Can't remember her name, but the chick.
Yeah. Right, the daughter of the family. I was kind of confused at why that story. Is that one of the people who he owns, or he's like they own the land
because he owns 12,
got the dispensary.
He owns 12
not dispensary
estates.
Yeah, right.
And that's one of the estates.
Gotcha. I wrote down that it reminded me a lot of like Pulp Fiction, where like Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta are going into a room. You know, they're two like intimidating people, and they're going into a room and talking to, you know, 4 or 5 people, and they're trying to intimidate them for a certain. In that case, they were looking for like a briefcase or something like that in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And they're trying to recover it, but in this case, they're trying to recover a girl, and all hell breaks loose. Right?
I love when Raymond goes back to Mickey and is telling him what happened. So that Russian kid fell off the roof,
right.
And then fell onto the train.
Train tracks, yeah.
And he's telling the story, and McConaughey just goes, "Fuck, Raymond, you need to invest in some parachutes." I lost it in the theater. That was the funniest shit I'd ever heard.
Great line.
It was just so witty and funny. He's like, "You need to invest in some parachutes."
That's a good instance of where the writing is like, is at its peak. It's really good. I love this. The part to that, I love when he goes, "Well, technically, it was the gravity that killed him." That's great.
She said you killed someone.
Right.
Not really.
You're really splitting hairs there.
Oh, he chases that kid for the phone.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know this, and I tell you in the movie, guns are illegal in the UK.
They are.
So
there's
like a lot of knifings and like pretty much everybody has a machete.
Yeah. Yeah. Pierce Morgan, he used to talk a lot about that, you know, on his shows because, you know, he's British. So he's like, you know, I don't really know why you're out, you know, you're talking about guns so much. I mean, there's stabbings here all the time, but yeah, that's crazy. That it's such a strict I mean, gun reform there.
Police don't even have guns. They have to get like I know government
special
officials.
units and government officials.
And like
yeah.
MI6,
Yeah.
they have guns, but
Yeah,
like
for sure.
regular cops don't have guns.
Correct. They use tasers and pepper spray, which they're not. Their job isn't to kill someone. You know, their job is to keep the peace. Getting too political?
Hey man, it's my podcast. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Got some news about Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell has some great lines. You know, yeah, the whole part we talk about, you know, we touched that where he's talking about, oh, that's not a racist remark. It goes from a place of love. That's really good. And the ending was a nice little twist of like who done it. Didn't see that coming out of anywhere where it was like, you know, oh, well, we had you pegged from the start.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It was a good twist. I didn't see that coming.
I love
whatsoever.
the end where when Fletcher takes his script to Miramax, because
Right.
Miramax is the studio that produced this movie.
we see
and in the
Man from
background,
Uncle.
you see that Man from Uncle poster, which is so that's why I'm like, Fletcher is Guy Ritchie.
So it was set in the real world where the Man from Uncle actually happened. Okay.
yeah,
Really interesting.
it's very meta. It's
Yeah.
very on the nose,
Yeah.
but I love it.
Let's get into the dislikes, baby.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Start from the beginning again. The tea kettle sounding off in the background. Don't really love that when Fletcher first comes in. You know, I think that it's been done before a lot. It's just a cliche at this point. You know, signifying rising tension, a rising sound, something building up. Not a huge fan of that myself. A lot of these are nitpicks, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there isn't one main thing that makes me go, I hate this movie. But, yeah, the plot in the beginning, it's a little hard to follow. But going again, once you get to that middle mark, you go,
Yeah, it all starts
see.
gelling together and it meshes.
Yeah.
It starts to make sense.
right. Who's the guy that wears the fedora all the time? You told me his name because I'd never heard of him. Tries to buy the farm.
Jeremy Strong.
Yeah, I don't really
the guy
think
that
he
he's
was
trying.
that
The
great.
guy, yeah, the dude trying to buy Mickey's farm.
Right.
I liked him just because he was like
He was different.
he was like your typical like smart, arrogant, dick bad guy.
He got played.
Yeah,
Got played big time.
he played himself. Actually,
I just put a quarter in your ass because you played yourself.
what? I have never heard that in my life.
It's from the Practical Jokers. I love that show. That's my guilty pleasure. Yeah, I just didn't think he was a great. I didn't think the role was great for him. I don't know if it's just him or because I can't think of anything else I've seen him in. But meh.
No, what line did he have when he gave Mickey that gun? And he's like, in this country, guns are illegal.
It's a paperweight.
Yeah, and he said, so is calling a pigeon Napoleon in Amsterdam or something like that, but just
cop.
try and stop me.
Yeah, cop Napoleon.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Is it really?
In France. Yeah, yeah. Because he was he's a terrible person. So
that's illegal. That's
I
crazy.
don't know if it's like really illegal, but it's very offensive. Like it's like calling cops pigs. So it's very offensive to them.
To them.
Not to us. I don't care. A nitpick. This would be a technical nitpick I didn't like. When they're in the apartment, it kind of just takes you out of the movie for a second. They're in the apartment, and Charlie goes over to the... I know that's not his character name. Can't think of his character
Raymond.
name. What?
Raymond.
He goes over to the fridge.
Oramundo.
He goes over to the fridge, and there's a stove or an oven in the background, and you can see the time on it. You can see like the refresh rate is kind of like off from the camera what it's shooting, so it's flickering a bunch. It just kind of that's just one of those little things where like takes you out, and you can sit back and be like, oh right, that's right, I'm watching a movie. This isn't like real life. I like that when that's a nitpick. I would always, if it were me, I would just take it out digitally and replace the clock, in post, because then you don't have your viewer being like, damn, well, I'm watching a movie.
That's fair. To be honest, I had never noticed that, so now next time when I watch it, I'll
Yeah, check it out.
look for it.
That happens in a lot of movies. I mean, because the camera frame rate is different from something that's on the stove or the oven, so they don't sync up. So that's why you get like if you ever see like lights flickering in movies, if it's not like a like an RE sky panel or something that's set up to actually light the scene if it's one that's in natural light. If you're in a school and you see those gymnasium lights above your head, sometimes you'll see those flickering. It's because they're off sync with the camera. Yeah, again, that's a huge nitpick, but lots of slow-mo. I think it can be overused a bunch. And I mean, to a point, of course it's fine, but like flashback scenarios, I think that's a good point to use them. When they're like, he was, what were they talking about? Were they talking about Matthew McConaughey's character at the beginning where
where we see him as a kid and
right. And he's walking around with a machete. I think that's cool. And that's an appropriate time to use it, but use it all the time. Ugh, gets tiring after a while. It's like I watched, so the Scorpion King, we talked about this one. Oh my
God, yeah.
They made like 4 of those movies. I don't know if you're aware of that. The other ones went straight to DVD.
Of course they did.
I watched the second one once. I have no clue why, but different actors, all of them. 90% of that movie is slow-mo.
Yeah, they were saying
annoying.
300. Zack Snyder's 300.
Oh my God.
They were saying
a lot of slow-mo.
The slow-mo out of that movie, it's like barely an hour long.
Yeah. He uses a lot of slow-mo in his movies, and that's like something I don't love. Like that's why I didn't really love Watchmen. Is like I thought, a lot of those moments were really cool, but a lot of them were in slow-mo.
Yeah,
it's just very tiring after a while. Because I see why they did it. Is his name like Rorschach? Rorschach. He's got.
What were you gonna call him?
Ink blot. Ink blot. Because that's what it. That's what it is. An ink blot test.
Well,
what do you see?
Rorschach.
But a Rorschach. Rorschach test. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ink blot. Because he does a lot of voiceovers in that movie. He narrates it, and so that's why they probably did a lot of the slow mo because it's always over him. But
the world will, what do you say? Fuck.
No.
The world will look up and shout, "Save us!" And I will whisper,
"No."
Could you imagine that? A superhero, save us.
Nah.
Fuck you.
Nah.
You're just watching them die.
I'm on holiday.
You know what? I actually don't like you people, so
right.
I'm on holiday. I got a flight to catch.
Yeah, see you later.
I'm heading back home.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
So, 6.5.
I really like this movie. I'm not gonna rate it because
that's the second one you haven't rated.
I think I'm done with the whole rating thing. I like it. I mean, what more do you want me to say?
I'm gonna keep rating.
I don't know.
them.
I feel like numerical systems are too tricky because, like, if I give this movie a 7 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10, and then let's say I see Tenet and there's a few things like it's a great movie, and I give it a 7 out of 10. Are they the same? No. But numerically they are, and I feel like that's just an injustice. So I'll just say I liked it a lot. This is my favorite movie of the year so far. I mean,
cool.
That should tell you everything. So
that's right.
Really enjoyed it.
And I'm fine with you not rating them.
Good. Because if you weren't,
asshole. What do you care?
You guys should see this movie though.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, you should. You should see it. I think you should see it. Yeah.
It's we don't really get movies like these anymore. As far as the writing, the characters, the plot, and all the twisty turnies.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, those twisty turnies, man.
Yeah. Better wear your seatbelt. All right, so that's it for the review. Yeah. Now we got our closing segment.
Speaking of, you're going to ask me what I watched recently. Twilight.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
First time. Never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy. I saw this meme. Mm-hmm. And it was Robert Pattinson. And he's like, it's from Twilight. So it's him. And he's yelling at Taylor Lautner. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Jacob. So, and it's Edward. He's like, she begged you to kiss her. She begged me to fuck her. We are not the same. And it was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life because they were just like nose to nose. It was a scene where they were just in each other's face, and I just read that and I was like, I mean, he ain't wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, it was really funny. But
yeah, I watched that and Castaway.
Yeah, we watched Castaway. Ironically,
Twilight's obviously better, but
that's what a coincidence. I don't even think I told you we watched Castaway.
Oh, no.
We watched like Sunday or something like. No, it was over the weekend because we were just laying around. We couldn't find anything to watch, and I was like,
Chris had never seen it. So.
Yeah, my wife had never seen it either. She's like, I don't want to be sad. I'm like, it doesn't really make you sad. Well, I mean, like the situation sucks, but like It's not like a sad movie or
Great
anything
love
like that.
story though.
Yeah. Pretty
Wilson
shitty.
and I'm talking about Wilson and who are you talking about? Oh, right.
Yeah,
right,
you know,
the
the
girl.
woman. His girlfriend.
You think he fucked that volleyball?
Clearly you do.
Man. 4 years on an island.
I don't know, man. I don't want to think about that. What? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna skip that question.
You got to answer it. You're under oath.
Good movie though.
Great movie.
What did we? Oh, we finished The Boys.
Oh, what'd you
Finally.
think?
I think it was pretty good. It took us so long to get through it though, because it's like a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
And
They're all an hour long, and I think there's like 12 episodes or something like that.
8, but by a lot, I
Wow.
mean like the shit that happens in it. Like it is kind of like I need a break.
Yeah, it's very
You know what I mean?
taxing.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I
It's
just
heavy
can't-
shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the first episode, she gets like sexually assaulted.
And then, yeah. And
Terrible. Ugh.
my wife typically doesn't do well with that kind of stuff, so once all that was happening, I was just waiting for her to be like, why do you want to, like, her favorite
Why do you
thing,
wanna
like whenever
continue
we're
this?
watching movies and like bad stuff like that happens, and she's like, why do you like watching stuff like this for fun? I don't want to see this shit. She's like, this is sad. Let's
You
watch
thick
something else.
bastard.
Let's watch the Friday movies. And I'm like, all right, well,
Friday movie.
yeah, with Ice Cube. And you never seen Friday? Next Friday?
Oh.
Friday after next?
No.
That's crazy.
What?
Oh man, comedies.
Okay, is this like which kind of Ice Cube are we talking about? Are we talking like just post NWA or like family fun?
Yeah,
Ice
just post
Cube?
NWA. Did you see Straight Outta Compton? He's writing the
No,
script.
I haven't seen that
What?
yet. I know.
He's
I
writing the
really
script
want to.
for Friday in that movie.
Wow.
I
Okay.
mean, like later.
Cool.
later. Yeah,
Never
Friday,
seen
man.
those.
They filmed that movie in 2 weeks.
Whoa. And it's how long?
It takes place on like a street, a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Yeah, they filmed it in
Wow.
2 weeks. It's not. I mean,
That's
it's a bare
nuts.
bones. It's a bare bones plot, but it's a funny ass movie. It's old.
Hmm.
Came out like 95.
Yeah, that's right. That's right around that time.
But yeah, The Boys.
Great.
What else was I supposed to start? I tried to watch Murder on Carnival Row.
Carnival Row?
Well, okay, sorry. The original, like, so that show had been in the works for like a long time, and it was originally called Murder on Carnival Row.
Oh.
And I don't know why I keep calling it that, but yeah, Carnival Row. I tried to watch it.
I think it's really good.
It is, but there's just kind of a lot,
There's a lot, man.
and I feel like I really need to like lock myself in a room and watch it.
After like the third episode or so, if I remember correctly, it just gets really good. First of all, Cara Delevingne and Orlando Bloom are really good in that movie. I can't believe Orlando Bloom is doing a TV show. I mean, he's not really doing much else, but he's known as like a movie actor. So
Are they doing well? I mean, the world's changing though.
yeah,
Like,
right.
Like we were talking about, like you were saying, you hate like Hobbs and Shaw, like movies
Yeah.
like that. But you get, I mean, most of your
We're in the golden age of television, baby.
like most of your textured content is on TV.
Yeah.
So, like Al Pacino,
Yeah. Oh
you
my
would have said
god.
if you'd have said fucking
yeah. After
30 years ago,
Scarface,
30
yeah.
years ago
This
that
guy's
Al
gonna be
Pacino was going to be in a
doing
TV show.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
And Hunters, what a good show. Haven't finished it yet,
Me neither.
but it's so good.
And I have no idea when I will. Not in any rush.
Yeah, I don't want that one to end just because it is so fun. Like, is it not? No, it's not Logan Marshall Green. It's Logan Lerman.
Yep. Percy Jackson.
Yeah. He's really good in that. The whole cast is great. Oh, that is a tearjerker of a show.
I love when I don't remember what episode it is. Did you see where they were in like the studio?
Yeah.
Like okay.
It's like
so when
the
he tries to
second or
shoot
third
that
episode.
door, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
And he shoots the door, and the bullet bounces around the room. He's like, it's steel, you fucking idiot. He's like, I'm sorry. Like it was like just small stuff like that is so funny to me. Just when
really
people
cool
do
to
dumb
see-
shit.
Yeah.
He tried to shoot through a steel door with a pistol. Like you're an idiot.
Hey, if those are, armor-piercing rounds, never know. Nah, that's
Steel?
still yeah.
Fuck no.
A 9mm or a 38 special would never go through there. But I don't know what I was going to say.
Exactly.
The guy from How I Met Your Mother, he's great in that show.
Yeah, he's from Bexley, Ohio.
I know.
Son of a
he
bitch.
still comes back all the time.
Shit, he needs to put me on. All I'm saying, hey man,
Just hang around
I was going to
Bexley.
say something really inappropriate, but
There's a lot of famous people who have been from Ohio.
what's that guy's name?
A lot of
that
astronauts.
You ever seen Terminator?
Yes, which one?
Terminator 2? Mm-hmm. The liquid Terminator?
Yeah.
He's from Cleveland.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
the Russos.
Yeah, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Dean Martin. He's from Dayton? I don't know. And then you got Clooney and his dad. They were from Cincy.
Really?
Yeah. Clooney's dad was like huge in the radio business.
Speaking of Clooney, he's got some pretty good tequila. Casamigos. Dude,
He had a great coffee maker.
It's the smoothest tequila I have ever had in my life. Dead serious. No, we're not getting paid to say this.
I'll take your word for that.
I wish.
Yeah. Hey, George, Mr. Clooney. No, George.
George, wow.
If you're listening to this,
You guys
and
must
you'd
be good friends.
Oh, we go way back.
Is he your dad?
I wish. God, that'd be cool.
He might be. I don't know.
How handsome would I be then? Man, I don't know. He's a silver fox.
Yeah. I feel like George Clooney has always, like, no matter what, he's always been 40 or older.
Except for when he was on ER.
Oh, well, yeah. I forgot about ER.
Wait, was it ER?
He was on
or
Roseanne, too.
Yeah.
Good times. Isn't she racist?
Huh?
Isn't she?
Yeah, fuck that shit.
They really wrote her out of her own show.
Yeah, they did. But I find it so ironic that, like, yeah, she's, because was it like on Twitter or something where she made like a super racist remark, but then on the show, it's like either she tried to redeem herself or the writers did. She goes on like this whole, like, would you talk to her that way if she was white kind of thing? Come on. It's out there.
I have no sympathy.
Yeah, I don't either.
Fuck her. But
It's like Jimmy Fallon right now.
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I haven't read anything about it.
He did this sketch back in, it was like
2000s, right?
I think it was 2000, so it was fucking 20 years ago. And he played a black character, kind of like what Downey did in Tropic Thunder. Although it wasn't a satire,
right?
He was some black guy, and
right.
it was like he was on a talk show. I can't remember the details behind it, but I mean.
But then, like, Dave Chappelle now is getting, I don't know if you heard about that, but Dave Chappelle is now getting blasted because he did whiteface, which, come on, that's not a thing.
The whole blackface thing to me, it baffles me because there are still people that don't understand why it's offensive or where it came from.
Right.
And I'm just like, maybe, do your research first.
Look up history of
yeah, it's
blackface.
not just because someone painted their face.
Right.
That's not what it is. So
It's the
to
negative
flip it around,
connotation behind it,
around and say, like, blackface was literally created as a propaganda to make people think that all black men wanted to just rape and
women,
kidnap
yeah.
their daughters. Like, that's literally what blackface was made for. So there's a historical, significance behind it. So
Right.
a black man painting his face white is not at all the same as a white man painting his face black.
Yeah,
But-
because there's never been any kind of stigma behind it. Where, yeah,
It's like
probably
it's like
still
when
not
Django
great.
Unchained came out, and Jamie Foxx
Oh,
was
yeah.
he was doing an SNL monologue. He's like, I play a slave who gets freed. I become a bounty hunter, and blah blah blah. And he's like, and at the end, I kill all the white people in the movie. And it was hilarious that people are like, oh, it's reverse racism. I'm like, that's literally not even a thing.
Right.
You just made that up. Like, that's not a thing.
Yeah,
There's no
Quentin
such thing as
Tarantino-
reverse racism.
Yeah, he got into Quentin Tarantino got in, because people are always like, why do you always put the N-word in your movies? Like, well, that's, if you look at history, I mean.
Yeah, he was like, if you think for 1 second that, because they use the N-word over 100
I think
times
it holds
in
the
Django.
record, right? Yeah.
And he's like, if you can sit here and honestly tell me that you don't think it was worse back then we shouldn't even be having this conversation.
People were slaves. I think, yeah. So.
Spike Lee fucking hates Quentin Tarantino. He hates him because of that. He's like, I don't know why he feels that he can use that word. And I'm like, I don't think that you have to be a black person to write accurately about
I agree.
slavery or or black, white, racial inequality.
Look at all like the white or other ethnicity, historians.
I feel like that's a very naive way of thinking.
Yeah.
That's like saying a man can't write us a movie. A male screenwriter can't write a movie with a female antagonist.
Ridley Scott did that, but he didn't. But at the time, he didn't have. He wasn't sure if Ridley was going to be a man or a woman.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's all. It's all touchy stuff,
Right.
But
we talk about this not because we want to get political, but it does happen to relate to the film industry and the entertainment industry. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
it's just what's ridiculous about the Jimmy Fallon thing to me is that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and people weren't upset with it then. Well, they could have been. I don't know.
Why did it take 20 years for people to get this outraged about it?
Right.
Because of the internet?
Yeah, I guess the world's changed a lot in 20 years. I mean, which of course it has, for sure. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
We shall see.
Plus, I mean, is it really... I mean, SNL, they have a writer's room.
Yeah.
Like, those sketches are written. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if that was his idea to do that. But, I mean, regardless, he's not alone in that.
I think... I do think, though, historically, if you look at the writers of SNL, I think they've mostly been predominantly white men. Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Well, I mean, that's
one of the,
fucking Hollywood, though.
Yeah, for sure it is.
That's not really saying much. But
yeah, but I mean, it's SNL. It's probably one of the most forward shows on television. I mean,
Black Jeopardy.
Black Jeopardy. Oh my God. Oh, that's a great. Is that the one with Tom Hanks is on too?
I think it's the one where what's his name?
Keenan
yeah.
Thompson. Yeah. Oh man.
Look at that dude's career. He went from. Did you watch
Keenan
all that?
Kel, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyway,
that's the show, guys.
yeah, that's the show.
Who knows? That might have gotten cut out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We shall see.
We'll be back next week. What are we doing next week? The Hobbit.
Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing the Hobbit trilogy next week, guys, and then we'll do Lord of the Rings after that. And I don't know what else. We're kind of on this little. I don't know. We're taking cheap shots at doing trilogies.
Yeah.
So that way we can just kind of knock things out of the way. Just,
No shame in it.
Yeah. First was Dark Knight. Now Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars.
And
Star Wars is gonna take forever.
Yeah, well, it's gonna take so long. And yeah, we are gonna start with the Hobbit. So we're gonna do,
the Misty Mountain,
what should be chronologically, but. So if those are shit, at least we've got something good to fall back on. So long.
I remember liking them, like each one of them less and less.
Yeah, probably.
Desolation of Smaug is all right, but
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
What?
Is that the one where they're like on the ice fighting?
No, that's the last one.
Ah, shit.
Desolation of Smaug is when they get into the mountain, and what? That doesn't happen till the end of the movie though, like the third act. What the fuck happens in the beginning of that movie?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
It has something to do with that town, right?
Aren't they in the barrels and shit, and they're rolling around in the river?
Fuck. God, there's so much that happens. And it looks
horrible because of the weird frame rate.
Yeah, 48 frames a second. What the fuck are you thinking? Oh my God. Oh, that's so stupid. Stick it with 24. Come on. 23.976, but
yeah. Anyway,
we'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get
into that.
You thought Logan's nitpicks were ridiculous before.
Okay, I did see the last movie. There's one point where they're standing on the ice, and it's fake ice, of course, and his fucking foot goes through the CG ice. It's so stupid. I wonder if they fixed it. I sure hope they haven't, because I wanna like put it up on a big screen and circle it. Oh, it's so annoying.
Don't do this.
Right. I mean, again, I'm not Peter Jackson. I'm not making.
You're not Peter Jackson.
No. Did you think I was?
Get the hell out of my house.
Here, I'll leave. I'm not making, multi-million-dollar films or anything. So take it with a grain of salt, what I have to say.
Next week will be fun.
Right.
To say the least.
That's right.
All right, guys. That was the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reviews from the Clubhouse. You can email us at reviewsfromtheclubhouse@gmail.com.
I gotta think of a good sign off. What's Ned Flanders say? Howdy doodly, right? He says that.
Who?
From The Simpsons.
You lost me.
Oh. Really?
I think I've only seen the Simpsons movie. I've
Great
seen
movie.
pieces of like the show,
Great
but
movie.
that show's been off for too long.
Yeah, like 30 years. It's one of the longest running TV shows
How
of
the
all
fuck is
time.
that possible?
I
How have they not ran out of things to write about?
I think they have. I think they just do the same shit over and over again.
It's
It's like
ridiculous.
Family Guy. Come on.
Yeah, I used to be really into Family Guy.
Same with Doctor Who, though. That show's been on since the 60s. Granted,
But hey,
they took breaks.
it's a new
and stuff.
doctor.
Right.
Every
it's a new-
whatever.
How
every
have they
season.
not run out? You know, I say this about Futurama. That's my favorite show of all time. But if you limit yourself to like one location, you're gonna run out of shit. Like Futurama had a whole galaxy to explore. You can go anywhere you wanted. That's why it always felt new and fresh and fun. We'll see you next week.
We should make our own animated show.
Oh my
yeah.
God, what would it be? What would it be about? I want to do a Futurama show. I love that show so much. I think it's so
I haven't
good.
watched that shit until like my cousins were super into it when I was a kid.
I love how,
Hey,
that show.
I love how we saved the rambling for the end
Right.
and not the news.
Right.
But hey, you know what? Let me get off here before I keep talking.
Right, yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks. That was the episode. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.